The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, welcome to the first workshop in this Manage Engine ADManager Plus workshop series. In all, there will be 5 workshops in the series and each shall focus on specific AD tasks that you can easily and effortlessly accomplish with ADManager Plus. At the outset, let me thank you for taking the time out and joining us here today. This is Stuti Mehrotra from the ADManager Plus team. Now during this session, if you have any queries, just send it to us in the chat box on your screen. We'll try to send you the clarifications back right away, or if not, we'll email them to you shortly after. So without any further ado, let us move on to today's workshop agenda. Now I understand the workload that IT administrators have to bear. Creating users in AD, for instance, is no child's play. However, there is quite an easy way around it. And yes, you guessed it right, that's ADManager Plus. And that is what is the agenda for today's workshop. Today, we'll be learning about ADManager Plus's advanced AD user provisioning techniques. Broadly put, ADManager Plus offers 2 key techniques to save your crucial time and effort in this regard: CSV file import and templates. So today, we'll be learning about these topics. The first is about 360-degree user provisioning. That means that we'll be provisioning users in AD, Exchange, Office 365, Skype for Business, and Google Apps for a user from a single window at the same time. This is what we call as 360-degree user provisioning. The next topic will be creating user accounts in bulk in a particular OU with all the desired attributes and via this option that we have here in ADManager Plus called as CSV import. The next topic of today's workshop will be to use a standardized naming format for the users throughout the organization. Then we'll be discussing about templates which will be used to streamline the entire user creation process. Next up will be how to make several attributes mandatory without having to extend the AD schema. And finally, it will be to detect and manage forest-wide duplicates while provisioning user accounts. Now, when we have said what is to be done, let us see how to do it. Now, I would like you all to go to this particular URL. I'll be sharing this URL with you in the chat box. Just copy and paste it in your browser window. After you are done, it'll prompt you for a username and a password. Now, you can use the username ADMP, all in small letters, A small, D small, M small, P small. And after that, the password will be workshop, W capitalized. I've also shared these details with you in the chat box. Now let me log in as well. Now another thing that I want you to note over here is we are going to log on to ADManager Plus authentication and not workshop, because this workshop is nothing but a domain that we have configured, and here we want you to go with local authentication. So just choose ADManager Plus authentication, login. You are now accessing a live ADManager Plus laboratory setup which we have hosted online so that you can gain hands-on experience on all the tasks that I'll demonstrate over here. So now this page opens up. This is nothing but the dashboard view of your domains. It is a quick snapshot of what is happening in your domains. It is, as you can see here, you see the number of users, inactive users, disabled users, and everything represented in the form of bar graphs. So today's session is about creating AD users. So we can straight away go to the AD management tab over here. Now you might be wondering what these other tabs are for. So all these other tabs are nothing but the other features that ADManager Plus offers: AD reports, delegation, workflow. We'll be studying about them in the later sessions as well, but today's workshop session is dedicated to user provisioning. So we hit AD management, and now we can see this page has opened up. So what do we have to do now? Firstly, let us go about creating a single user account, because we have to see how to create this user across all these platforms that we talked about before. So I hit create single user. Now you can try this with me. Here in this page, we'll be creating a user across AD, Exchange, Skype for Business, Office 365, Google Apps, and everywhere with the same window. So okay, this page now opens up. The first option is selected domain. So right now, because we have configured only one domain, you will be shown only one option. If you configure multiple domains, you can choose from those options. Another option over here is the selected template. Now system template is the default option. I'll be talking about templates in detail later to show you how templates will be useful for us. So here we have to enter about all the details that we want our user to have. First is the first name. Let's say I'm creating a user called as Rick. Now the last name is say Parker. So now as you can see that I only entered two details, first name and last name, and several fields were auto-populated. Now how did this happen? This happened because of the template, and in the template we had specified that the naming format should be this particular one, first name and last name without any spaces in between. So this is why it assumed this particular form. You can enter as many details as you want your user to have, all the attributes you can assign values for, employee ID, description, everything you can choose over here. Now the ones that you see in red are the mandatory attributes. By default it is users OU, but you can very well select any other OU in which you want your user to be created. Just click on the pencil icon and choose whichever OU you like. For now I'm okay with users, so I'll go with that. Next up is the account tab. This is where we set our password. Okay, now here I am presented with few options based on which I can set my password. I can generate a random password, I can type the password myself, and so on and so forth. Okay, one option over here is leave password blank. Now this is something that we would advise against, because if you leave password blank, it is nothing but you are inviting insider attacks. So it's better to just avoid it. Let us type a password for now. Now this password that you are typing, it should be as per the password complexity. In case you choose to generate a random password, you can do that as well. And here, if you follow this link, you can configure the password complexity that you want to have. There are certain other settings that you can choose from. User must change password at next logon. User cannot change password, so on and so forth. You can assign the group over here. Which group do you want this user to be a member of? You can assign the profile path, home folder. You can even set up an account expiry date over here. You can even restrict this computer to have access only from a few particular computers. You just have to type the names over here. And you can also specify the time during which your user will be allowed to log in. You just expand this. Now as you can see, the green ones are the hours in which the user will be allowed access, and the gray ones are the ones in which the user will be denied access. I just click here and I can see that my user will now be denied access on Wednesdays at 12 a.m. and I can just go on from here. Next up is the contact tab. So again, all the contact related information you can specify over here if you need to. Another tab is Exchange. Now this is important because, okay, this is all about 360-degree user provisioning. So how do you do that? You just click Mailbox Enabled User. You select a mail server. You select the mailbox store, and that's it. Just specify the values for all the mandatory attributes and you are good to go. You can have as many settings as you want. We have delivery restrictions, exchange policies, whichever you want to configure, all at your fingertips. Similarly, we have remote mailbox, terminal, Skype for business, custom attributes. Okay, this is Skype for business, and if you want to configure this as well, just click on the server and you're good to go. Just provide the values for the mandatory attributes. Next up we see over here is custom attributes. So this is another option that ADManager Plus provides you. You can have some organization specific attributes configured over here. Right now I am going to not go in detail about it, but later on shortly I'll be telling you how to configure custom attributes as well. Similarly, we have Office 365 here. So if you want to create an account in Office 365 as well with directory synchronization enabled, do that. Without, your call. I'm hitting create. Okay, mail server. This was about the exchange settings. So now my user will be created across all the platforms that I want to. So with this, we now learned how to create a single user across all these platforms. Now next up will be creating bulk users. Now as we all know that PowerShell scripting can be very, very difficult and complicated. You just miss out on a comma and everything is just, you can't do anything with it. So ADManager Plus has this option of CSV import with which your bulk user creation becomes really simple. I'll show you a sample CSV file now. All you have to do is ask your HR people to give you a CSV file with the user details, and that you can use to import details from and create accounts out of it. So here we have three basic attributes: given name, SN, password. These are the LDAP attributes that we want to assign values for. So you'll be wondering, if we have other attributes that we want to configure via CSV, how do we know which LDAP attributes are the ones that will be supported? So worry not, we have this link over here, help in the product. You just go to the help document, and here you'll see a number of options to choose from, whichever topic you need help with. This is our online help talk repository. You go to CSV import, and then you hit create users using CSV. And as you can see, here is the list of all the LDAP attributes that are supported. So if you want to configure the logon name, user principal name in this particular style will have to be written in the CSV. Similarly with all the other attributes. Okay. Let us go back to the product. Now I'm going to create bulk users with this. So I hit the AD management tab again. Create bulk users. Now in this page, you see again, we can choose the domain, the template, and here is the option import. Now I'm going to hit import over here. Now it is prompting me to choose a file from my system. Now this is the file that I'm going to choose over here. I want you to have a look at it. If you are doing the tasks along with me, you can create a CSV file with these three basic attributes if you want. So the first line is the header. Then the next line, subsequent lines, will be the values that we want to assign. For example, if I want to create a user with the first name Monica, last name Parker, and this particular password, I go about like this. The next user is Mark Jacob with the password this. So this is the particular file that I'm going to import now. I hit choose file. Create users.csv is the name of my file. I import it. Click OK. Now it is importing the users from the CSV file, validating them, and shortly all our users will be created. Now as you can see, we had only assigned values for three particular attributes, but here we have the UPN auto-populated, SAM account name, display name, and everything. How did this happen? Because of the system template, because of a template that we had assigned over here. So okay, I see everything. Now I hit next and it will take me to the next step, which is choosing the OU in which this user should be. Here is the OU tree. You can choose whichever OU you want, or you can even create a new OU if you so desire. I'm okay with users, so I'll go on with this. Now my users will be created in this particular OU that I specified. If you want to add more users to the list, just hit create more users and you know the process. So this was how we created bulk users as well using the CSV import option. Now let us talk about the templates that we had been discussing about. So okay, you go to AD management. Then you go to user creation templates and we'll see how to create one. Here is the link that says create new template. So this is what a template looks like. You can see some additional options over here. There is creation rules, copy user attributes, enable drag and drop. You can assign a name to the template. Let us do that. Okay, I'm going to name this template as workshop 1. You can provide a description, you can select the domain, and then whichever values you specify over here, they will be carried forward for the users that you choose to create. So if you are creating bulk users using this particular template, which is called as workshop 1, all these values will be carried forward to those users. So let us say that in this template, what I want to specify is uniformity in the naming formats. So here is a naming format option that I see for designing the logon name, these many. Now, if you want, you can even configure one yourself. Here is the option, create your own naming format. Let us see what happens when I hit that. So in this page that will open up, I'll be able to customize the naming format as per my own needs. Here is the option, add new format. Just assign any name to this format. Let us say for now it is ABC. Now, how do I want this naming format to be? Let us say I want the first name first with the first 3 characters in all in lowercase. I add them here, and then I want, let's say, a a dot. I add it here, and eventually I want the last name here with all the characters. This is the format that I want to be carried forward for all the users in my organization that I create with this particular template. So I add this as well, and then I save the format. Now this format was called as ABC. When I go to the template, I'll call this format and then the settings will be applied. I go back to AD management. I go again to create bulk users. Okay, sorry, we were discussing about the templates. Let me go back there again. So AD management it is, then user creation templates. Create new template. Okay, so we are here. Now here I can specify the format that I had just created. ABC, here it is. So now you can see that all the accounts that will be created with this template will have this particular format. It's even giving you an example. It's joh.smith So this is the as per the naming format that we had created. And you can specify whichever values you want in the template. They'll be carried forward for all the user accounts that are created using this particular template. Now here is something which is copy user attributes. What is this? Let us see. I hit copy user attributes. This option will allow me to copy an existing user's settings and use them to create this template. So whichever settings that I want from this particular user, they'll be copied here. For example, there are all these user objects in my organization. Let's say I choose this particular user. Now, which attributes should I copy from him? I click this symbol over here. So do I want general attributes to be copied? Okay, I can select which ones. Let's say I want the office to be copied, the description to be copied. Then I can choose maybe the contact attributes. So whichever ones you want. You just select it over here, click OK, and apply. So all these values that I just copied will be pasted in this particular template. Now that makes my job a whole lot easier. So I don't have to create this template from scratch. I'll just copy a particular user settings and I'm all set. Now another option that I see over here is enable drag and drop. What is this? This option is actually used to customize the layout of your template. So I have enabled drag and drop now. Okay, so I see that it is offering me quite a few customization options. For example, when I go to the General tab, it shows me an option to simply delete it. Okay, now say I don't want the remote mailbox tab to appear anymore. So I'll just hit delete and it will be deleted from the template. Now this particular customization is especially useful when you are delegating some tasks to the technicians using ADManager Plus. For example, you have a technician called as A and you want to delegate the task of creating users to A. So what do? You just create a template and you assign that particular template to this technician. So you will have the upper hand in the user creation process despite having delegated it to A. How do you do that? Well, as you can see in this template, you are customizing the structure. You didn't want the remote mailbox properties to be modified by him, so you just remove the tab altogether. And this is what you can practice for each of these attributes as well. Suppose you don't want your help desk technician to assign the values for initials, you just delete it. And what if you delete an attribute by mistake? Is there a way to bring it back? Yes, of course. Here you can see the field tray. Here you can see the deleted attribute. You just bring it back and place it wherever you want. So this was how this option works. We have a lot more options in enable drag and drop. So for example, I want to check for duplicates now. I'm creating a particular user and I'm not sure if duplicates exist in my domain or in my forest in fact. So how do I do that? Let us check if there are any duplicates in the logon name. So I go about editing the logon name attribute. Then here you can see there is an option called as prevent duplication. I enable it. We'll check for duplicates at forest level. It's up to you. Now, if a duplicate at all is detected, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to apply a different naming format? Do you want to append a number? Or do you not want to create the user at all? So you specify all these settings, click done, and you're all set. Another option that I would like you to see over here is to make it mandatory, read only, or none. So if you decide on making it mandatory, it will be highlighted in red and the user will have to assign values for it in order to create the user. So this is about enable drag and drop option. We have another option over here which is creation rules. What are creation rules? Creation rules are a way to assign values to several specific fields with after assigning some conditions. For example, if condition A is fulfilled, I want a particular attribute to be auto-populated with this particular value. Let us go about doing it as well. So I create a new rule. Let me add a condition. Now I want the if the office is I can choose from the options over here. If the office is any from these categories, for example, India. So if the office is in India, what do I want? I want that the manager should be auto-populated with a particular value. This is a great way for you to save time in configuring everything manually. So I want this particular user to be the manager here. So this is how you can set condition rules as well. Ultimately, you save the template. Okay. A template with the name already exists. Let me name it something else. Okay, all set. So today we learned about creating a single user, creating users in bulk, and then we went about seeing how to do it with CSV import and how to go about with templates. So these are all the options that are provided in ADManager Plus, and there are a lot more, and we'll be covering them step by step in the coming workshop. Now let us take a quick recap of what we learned today. Firstly, we learned about creating a single user account in AD, Exchange, Office 365, Skype for Business, and Google Apps in a single step. We saw how various attributes got auto-populated as per the naming format that we had specified. Then we configured there's one step that is still left, which is configuring password complexity. Now let me quickly show you how it is done. So you go to the admin tab. Here you see an option to configure the password policy. I hit it. So I can see if I want my random passwords to have whichever length I want. The minimum length can be 6. The maximum length, say I want it to be 10. Then if I want any special characters over here, let's say I want 2 special characters. Then if I want any numerals to be there, let's say I want 2 numerals. If I want the password to be case sensitive, well, yes, I do. And if I want any characters at all to be excluded from these passwords, I think 0 and O can be quite confusing, so I'll just exclude them from the passwords to be on the safe side. And I save this. Now this is a sample password that will be generated. It is, as you can see, as per the password policy that I configured over here, it has exactly 2 special characters, 2 numerals. It is in mixed case, and there is no 0 and O in it. Now, there are several more options that you can explore if you want. If you want the password to start with an alphabet, or if you want to use only dictionary words, that you can do as well. Another thing that we can see over here is to design a naming format. I click naming formats over here. Here is an option to add new format. I can assign any format name. Now, I want the first name there are certain advanced properties that I would like you to see. This we had not covered beforehand. If you want to limit the resultant format value length to 8, if you want to trim unwanted spaces and dots, and so on and so forth. So this is another topic that we have covered now, and we learned about naming formats, password policies. Also, let us see about custom attributes. Here is an option called as LTAP attributes. What are custom attributes? Actually, they are nothing but several organization-specific attributes that you might want to configure. So I click Add Attribute. So you can assign whichever display name you want. Let's say custom for now. Now the LTAP name that I want can be custom again. So if I want to use all these attributes, these custom attributes in a template, I can very well do that as well. All I'll have to do is, like I wrote I can just write custom in the header and it will be auto-populated. Also, if I want to call upon a particular template, I'll just write template name. You can see that from the list over here. So this is all fairly simple. Now, which data type do you want this to have? I think we can go with integer for now. It's just an example. Now, if you want this to appear in several reports, let's say I want this to appear in user reports, and I want this to appear in user creation. So I can add it all. This is how I can configure custom attributes. Now, they'll be useful for my organization if I think so. Okay, so now we have also seen this custom attributes. We also saw templates, how they can be used to streamline your user creation process, to maintain uniformity, and to have control over the technicians trusted with creating users. We saw how a template can be customized to display only the relevant tabs and attributes, how we can copy a particular user's attributes and use them in the template, how we can configure creation rules and set conditions for auto-populating a template. Now, these were some of the advanced user provisioning techniques which we have here in ADManager Plus. I hope today's session was informative to you. Many thanks to you for attending this workshop. Now, I'm going to share some handouts with you in the chat. Just download them and you can use them for future reference after this workshop. They are nothing but a list of tasks that will help you get started with ADManager Plus. Now, hope to meet you same day, same time next week for workshop number 2. The second workshop will focus on managing users. I'll talk about how to migrate mailboxes, reset passwords, assign, revoke Office 365 licenses, and much more. So if you have any queries at all, kindly let us know and we'll get back to you. I'm also sending a survey form to your registered email IDs. Please fill it up and let us know your thoughts on today's workshop and the series. This was Stuti Mehrotra. Thanks again. Have a nice day.